Hey guys, how's it going? It's Vladimir here with another team review, and today I'm going to be looking at a really fun line variation off of the Pogo Dylan team that I showcased before. I will link down to the Pogo Dylan team down below, as well as his Twitch stream. Fantastic battler and fantastic content creator in his own right, and this team, I swear to God, was one of the funnest teams I've used this season. I've always been a huge fan of STEEL Wing Empoleon. I think that the coverage move of the drill peck is really nice here because you can safe swap and then you eventually get a lot of energy on your Empoleon and can rain down drill pecks onto fighting types, which are the typing that the Empoleon fears most. In the backline, we have Goodra, the safe swap Goodra, which Pogodillon recommended to me, and then we also have another dragon type instead of Trevenant, which is the Pokemon I had in the back originally. We have Hakamo'o, and it's a very fun pick. I feel like for myself, Hakamo'o is one of those Pokemon that I always underestimate. Every single time that I use Hakamo'o, I have a great time, and I usually climb points, especially after the Brick Break buff. Hakamo'o is so strong right now. And so with that being said, let's see how this team does in action. So first off, we have our Empoleon into Charjabug. This is not a good lead. So we safe swap into Goodra. We're met with a Sandslash, a Alolan Sandslash. And so this is the point where oftentimes this is just game over. Because usually if you lose the lead and you lose the swap, you can't really come back from that. But the great thing about Empoleon is the fact that oftentimes it can deal so much damage with its charge moves. And so what we're going to do here is we're actually going to farm down the Alolan Sandslash. We do have to shield up Drill Run. Drill Run would do way too much damage here. Empoleon is a fairly glassy Pokemon. And so we do shield it up, but look how much damage we're getting here. We do get a full Hydro Cannon or Drill Peck worth of energy. And so we're going to throw the Hydro Cannon here into the Charjabug. After throwing one Steel Wing, of course, to throw at correct timing, we do throw this Hydro Cannon and it does so much damage. We're going to switch immediately into the Hakamo'o, and then they have a Poliwrath in the back, and this is not a good matchup for the Hakamo'o by any means because of the fact that Poliwrath has access to Icy Wind, which deals super effective damage. Especially a Shadow Poliwrath like this would definitely one-shot from this range with an Icy Wind. And so, yeah, I wanted to include this battle because usually in a situation like this where you have three fairly hard counters, countered in the lead, countered in the swap, countered in the back, you would lose the game. But the double dragon backline here is so strong that we actually do manage to put them into farm down range here. So this is the perfect farm down range for us to Steel Wing them down. And we will get to this Hydro Cannon here. Once again, really happy with this game. Even if they were at a move here, which they are not quite at a move yet, they would just lose CMP here to the Hydro Cannon. And so this is why I love this team so much, is that even though we did not have alignment at any point in this game, we're still able to win that first game. And next up, we have our Empoleon into Whiscash. This is just two battles in a row, losing the lead. And we're going to lose the swap here pretty soundly to Altaria. So with Altaria, there's no real way to win this unless you're willing to go down shields. But you can CMP tie. Charge move priority tie here, folks. This is the best that we can ask for. We get a shield, and we also have them use all their energy. So now they're at 0 energy, and we're once again going to be able to farm down with Steel Wings here. This is the name of the game, folks. You lose the lead, you lose a swap, but you can still win the game as long as you have you're able to farm down and you have appropriate coverage. And they do get to a Moonblast here, and a Moonblast is actually going to do a lot. This is kind of the problem with Empoleon, is that it is pretty glassy. That's a sizable amount of damage. And then we throw our move, and this is actually not fantastic for us. It's not game over, but I would have rather held on to that Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon does a respectable amount of damage to the Lantern, not gonna lie. But yeah, it's unfortunate that we used it there instead of threatening it versus the Whiscash in the back. But we should still be fine here. We're gonna shield. We may as well shield because they scald, but a scald does about the same amount as a mud bomb. Mud bomb does about the same amount as a thunderbolt, and so rather than letting them force us to shield surfs in the back, we may as well shield up these scalds, right? Scald is a very expensive move, so we're more than happy to let them deal all this, use up all this energy on scalds. Honestly, I think that they should have gone straight mud bomb here, because I don't think that really affected the matchup too much. They switched at the same time as we switched, so we probably should have actually just stayed in there to take care of this lantern, but we have so much energy that we're actually able to put them into range where we should be able to take them out with one Dragon Tail and a Dragon Claw. We CMP tie here. This is going to get really close, honestly. Like I said before, this is definitely not like perfect playing by me. I definitely should have managed my energy smarter here, but luckily for us, we do have a fairly bulky Hakamo'o. More than any other Pokemon, I feel like having a bulky Hakamo'o, it really pays off because you can live certain situations. And they actually quit out the match. I don't think that was over. I probably would have lived one mud shot, but they definitely should not have quit out there. But moving on, we have Cresselia against us. Wow, I'm still blown away. The opponent definitely could have won that match. I don't know why they didn't want to just try and tap once to mud shot me down. That's crazy. But here we had the Cresselia versus the Empoleon. They eventually switch out into the Guzzlord, and this is fine by us because, as you can see here, this actually puts us in a perfect range where we can just Dragon Breath them down. We do have to shield once here, but I think that they already shielded their Cresselia, right? No, they did not shield the Cresselia. I was so distracted. I just could not believe the situation of the last match. But yeah, we're going one shield down, but we have a lot of energy. And so this energy is going to go somewhere. We do take them out in 2 Power Whips. We do not take them out in 2 Aqua Tails or an Aqua Tails and a Power Whip. So we do want to go straight Power Whip here. As you can see there, they actually throw their move before we even reach the next Aqua Tail, which is fine by us because, yeah, they actually switch out here into a Poliwrath, I believe. No, sorry, a Lantern. So now we're fine because it's a Lantern and not a Poliwrath. This is a good game. Yeah, so we did have alignment here this whole game, really, but I did include this game just because Cresselia, I think, is a pretty common Pokemon in this meta, and this team deals with Cresselia leads pretty well. In the back, it gets kind of dicey, but yeah, I think that Cresselia in this meta is most commonly a lead, and they just do not have any win con at this point. We throw out bad timing. We throw after 2 Dragon Claws. We should have thrown after, 2 Dragon Tails. We should have thrown after 1 Dragon Tail for better timing, but it completely does not matter here because we still have 2 other Pokemon in the back, and of course they also throw a Grass Knot. So yeah, we should be able to farm down here, but you know, you may as well speed things up by just throwing a charge move in case they want to no shield the charge move, right? As they did, as we can see. So next up we have Empoleon into Swampert, Shadow Swampert. This is not a good lead. We immediately swap into our Goodra, and they take a while to swap out. They swap into a Zoomerl, and they took so long to swap out that actually we're going to outpace them to 2 Power Whips before they reach 2 Ice Beams. Honestly, they probably should just go straight Play Rough here, if they have Play Rough, that is, because they're not going to get to 2 Ice Beams on time. They're not going to be able to farm me down. You can see there, the Goodra's got some bulk to it. It's definitely one of the bulkier dragon types, and so we do outpace them. And they are going to let this go, which is good for us because now we have a switch. They're going to get so much farm here. The thing is with the Swampert, they get so much farm. They have, I think, 10 mud shots at this point. And so we're gonna shield here. And then I think, if I remember correctly, they actually baited us here. Yeah, they do bait us. And now they're going to throw a sludge wave. A little bit of a spoiler warning. This is the first sludge wave I've seen in the Open Great League in a long time. Wow! We could have taken double resisted damage there if we had gone into our Empoleon. But here they have Trevenant in the back. So it's definitely not over. This is going to be very close. But they let the Dragon Claw go. And at this point, this is actually just a game over. Because we can Steel Wing them down at this point. They're going to throw the Shadow Ball at us. And this actually gets us to about the same range of health that they're at. But wow, what an incredible show of strength here. The Empoleon easily Steel Winging down the Trevenant, and they can save those shields the next time, folks. That's a 0 to 2 shield win there. Very satisfying. And so here we see an Annihilate on the lead. We saw a lot of Annihilate leads. And then this time they actually switch fast enough into the Zoom World that they're going to be able to outpace us to double Ice Beam. So we, of course, let this first Ice Beam go. And then we're going to throw the Power Whip. We throw one Dragon Breath too early. So we could have done one more Dragon Breath there. But you're going to see here, because they switched out a little bit sooner than the last Pokemon with an Azumarill safe swap, they're able to outpace us. And so we do let this go. We don't want to we don't want to go a shield down. Instead, what we want to do here is we want a lot of energy, because energy with Empoleon always goes somewhere. If you've got a strong water type move and a strong flying type move, you're going to be able to put your energy somewhere. And so here they don't get to a Play Rough, they only get to an Ice Beam, which is quite nice for us. Look how healthy our Empoleon still is. Look how much energy we have, and they come into their Annihilate. This is why Empoleon is so strong, is that its worst enemy in this current meta is fighting. And if it's able to gather a lot of energy on the tertiary matchup versus whatever the opponent safe swapped into, then it's going to be able to really deal a number versus fighting types with that Drill Peck. And so here, the tertiary matchup, we have Hakamo into Annihilate. But unfortunately, they baited there. And then they come into Superior. And we should be fine here, because they're not going to be able to take us out with one Aerial Ace. You're going to see the Aerial Ace does very little damage, despite the fact that we're a fighting type. Hakamo's got some bulk to it, especially a Hakamo like mine. I think mine is like rank 1000, 1100 maybe. It's good enough. It's good enough. I know some people using very low rank Hakamo, and you can still get some success with that. But a low rank Hakamo would not be able to do what this Hakamo is doing right now, which is just completely taking out a Superior. That is some major impressive damage there. And so here, this was another really impressive feat by Empoleon. This is a pretty low rank Empoleon compared to what a lot of people have in the meta. But yeah, I was able to survive that Night Slash and deal just enough damage that we could take them out with a Dragon Claw. So yeah, that was Empoleon's bulk coming in handy there. This was I think around rank 1000 Empoleon here. I've not gotten very many good Great League Empoleons. This is probably the best I've gotten, and it's not high rank at all. It wins CMP over other Empoleons, and as you can see in that last match, it has enough bulk to get out of that past situation that we just saw. And so here we see I catch the flamethrower onto my Gudra because I used a shield with the Bastiodon. We're able to do that, and then they come in with their Wigglytuff. And as I'm sure you guys have seen, this is the most common team in the current meta, and just a very common team throughout basically the entire history of Go Battle League. It is the Bastiodon Wigglytuff Victory Bell team. And here is the great thing about the team that I'm using is that it just kicks this team's ass, no matter their alignment really. Unless they had like Victory Bell in the lead, that would be kind of problematic. But yeah, so this alone is what makes me really love this team. My current team that I'm using is because it kicks the ass out of Razor Leafer teams, you know, grass hole teams as they call them, or also the Shadow Vic, Wigglytuff backline. Basically, any team with Bastiodon in it can be beaten by this team, no matter the other two Pokemon. And so here, this is a brutal beatdown here. They have nowhere to go with this Bastiodon. They just let it go. And they have, of course, the Victory Bell in the back, which we've all seen. And at this point of time, we will get to a Drill Peck on our Empoleon, but we don't need to. They could have shielded that, but then we would have just gotten to the Drill Peck. That is a good game. Moving on, we have Empoleon into Whiscash, Shadow Whiscash. Very not good. Very not good. We're going to go into our Goodra, and we have to see what they want to switch into. They're surely going to switch. They throw a Mud Bomb, so this is fine. Even though this is a Shadow Whiscash, this is not going to do half of our health quite yet. And so they do eventually switch to Altaria. And this is pretty bad. You know, Altaria just beats the Goodra easily. We're hoping that they think that I have a Draco Meteor here. They do not, unfortunately, shield that. If we had Draco Meteor, I think that we might have been able to actually take them out there. But here, we're able to go into our Empoleon. Once again, this is the strength of Empoleon, is being able to farm down stuff like Dragon types here and get enough energy to really deal some damage in the back. Unfortunately, here, they do get to a Sky Attack, just barely. Really painful here. Looking back, I should have thrown my energy, honestly, or alternatively have shielded up the Moonblast, which did a little bit more damage. Regardless, we're able to get to a Hydro Cannon here. I think we only throw one Hydro Cannon, and then we switch out. No, actually I throw both. So I think that this is the safest play, actually. Looking back, this is the safest play because you want to make the opponent make a decision first. They have to decide if they want to shield that or not. Of course they're going to shield that. They want to preserve their Whiscash, but they have a Talonflame in the back. And with a shield advantage, this is just a good game for Hakamo-o. They let that go. Hakamo-o forces opponents to make decisions, right? They wanted to let that go because it could have been a Brick Break, and then they would have lost for sure because of the increase of damage. But because they let that move go, they're going to lose here for sure. We do 3 Dragon Tails for the best possible move timing. 9 turns into 10 turns. And we can let this go. I mean, we don't have a choice, obviously. They fly us. But now we take them out in 2 more Steel Wings easily. Oh, okay. So this is actually, this was a mistake on my part. I needed to do 1 more Steel Wing of damage. Yeah, this is huge surprise for me. I thought I was going to win that one for sure, but that's an example of me making a mistake there. Very common if you join my live streams. I needed to just do 1 more Steel Wing, more energy with that against that Talonflame. I guess I need to undercharge slightly versus the Talonflame. But here we see a pretty negative situation where we led Empoleon into Talonflame, and then they actually didn't let me switch. I don't know if you saw, but I was spamming the switch button immediately, and they did not let me switch. So I did 1 Steel Wing versus the Talonflame. I did not want to do that Steel Wing, and so now this Talonflame has a little bit of excess energy. They're gonna land an Energy Ball into my Empoleon, but the upshot here is that I'm gonna get so much energy that I can land 2 Hydro Cannons into the Talonflame before they farm me down. So we have to see if I want to land two Hydro Cannons or if I want to switch out after 1. I think I probably want to switch out after 1 here. Maybe not actually, because I can get to the next one in 2 Steel Wings, right? So we're gonna actually go for the next one because we want to get them into a 0 shield situation. If you can get the opponent into a 2 to 0 shield situation, that usually is pretty good. Yeah, and so now we're going to shield, of course, because they're going to fly us. And then we have to double shield here because they reach another fly before we can take them out with the Dragon Claws plus the Dragon Tails. But we should be able to do 3 more Dragon Tails worth of energy. So this is pretty good for us. Let's see what they have in the back. Assumedly they don't have 2 dragon counters, right? Yeah, and so they had a Victory Bell in the back. This is pretty circumstantial because people are using Victory Bell a lot now. It's right after Victory Bell Community Day, but it's fortunate for us. It's definitely fortunate for our team. And now this is actually kind of close, but I was still confident because yeah, they do Sludge Bomb me to take me out, but I do beat them. As long as the game is working correctly, I should beat them to the move there. I had a 2-turn fast move. They had a 3-turn fast move. So luckily, the game did work correctly, and we beat the opponent there. Really fun team once again. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Let me know if you guys try out this team. If you guys have Hakamo'o, I feel like it's one of the most underrated Pokemon in the current meta. With the buff to Brick Break, and in general, it's got some bulk to it as long as you got a good one. So I say try out Hakamo'o in this current meta. And with that, I'll see y'all next time. Bye.